Welcome to week 5. A little bit of a different format this week. No new content. Instead, we're going to show you the full cycle of observation and feedback in a coaching session between Ms. McRookie and Mr. Good Coach. Your job as part of your final assessment for this MOOC is to annotate all of the best practices you see that you've learned from this course. We're going to present you with a viewing guide. It's downloadable right here that we want you to use as you watch this coaching session. You'll notice a number of prompts throughout the viewing guide that are linked to the variables in our coaching formula that we want you to reflect on in your final assessment. We're about to follow Mr. Good Coach as he observes Ms. McRookie and gets ready for a coaching session. Except, he's no longer Mr. Good Coach. He's Mr. Effective Coach. That's right. He got a sneak preview of this MOOC. He's put in some hard work, and he now gets our Effective Coaching seal of approval. Congratulations, Mr. Effective Coach. Moreover, this guy had 8 hours of sleep last night, a nice healthy breakfast, a little bit of exercise, he's putting on a dry clean shirt. He's about to show us an exemplary coaching session. Now, there's always something that you can critique, but that's not what we want you to do for this assignment. Instead, we want you to focus on the best practices that he exhibits in his coaching session. I think he's about to go in the classroom right now. Hey, Mr. Effective Coach, what are you looking for today in Ms. McRookie's classroom?
Hey, Aaron. So I gotta make this quick because I'm about to go in, but her last big takeaway was to improve student time on task by more quickly noticing and responding to student misbehavior. Particularly students having side conversations when they're in group discussion. So that's the big takeaway.
Okay, I hear you, but tell me more about what exactly was preventing students from learning as much as they could in that last class.
So here's the deal. She would send them out to do independent practice, and it's great. They're working on their own. They're very engaged in what they're doing. But when she'd bring them back together for group discussion, we'd see a lot of side conversations, right? And so the big group should be listening, and she's asking follow-up questions to maybe one or two kids, but these little side conversations are popping up on the side. And she's not noticing it. She's not responding to it. And what that means is that those kids aren't hearing the feedback that she's giving to their peers, and as a result, their writing isn't becoming better just by listening. So it's just a lot of wasted opportunities to learn. But we can build on that. So I gotta get in there and see how she does.
Hey, Mr. Effective Coach.
Oh, hey, Aaron.
Aren't you going to tell us how she did on her big takeaway?
Okay, so here's the quick analysis. Then I gotta go prep my notes because our debrief is in 20 minutes. Students were more on task today during the group discussion. They were listening to their classmates. They kept their eyes on the speaker more. Now, there were a few side conversations at the beginning, but she noticed them and she addressed them. And after that, it was great. It was really nice. The problem was, it seemed like there was only student conversation. Before, she was giving them great practice opportunities, and then the conversations about the work didn't go well. But this time, the group work was fine, but she didn't really give them time to, bear down and grit their teeth. It was kind of the same 5 kids talking the whole time. So most of them didn't really get the opportunity to think hard and show their work. I think every student probably didn't feel really accountable. So, okay, I gotta go get these notes down.
Okay, thanks for the intel, Coach. Looks like you still have a lot of work to do to get ready for that meeting. Mind if we follow you in there?
No, we're gonna meet back here in her room in about, in about 20 minutes. So, no, come on in. Hey, Ms. McRookie.
Hey, Coach, good to see you.
You too. Let's dive right in. What was your last big takeaway?
It was to increase student time on task by more quickly noticing and responding to misbehaviors like side conversations.
And how do you think you did on your big takeaway?
There were still side conversations, still too much talking, but I tried so hard. I thought about our conversations and what we practiced, and I saw it happen. It was Kenny and Marcus, like 15 minutes into class, and I let it go. I can't believe it. I was just froze up and...
Hold on. Let me tell you what I saw. Last class, I saw 7 different side conversations that weren't addressed at all. Today, I saw you address it 4 different times early on, and I don't even remember the one you're talking about. But I'll take your word for it. The point is, this is a huge step forward. So much so that I want us to move on.
But I'm clearly not ready yet. I haven't mastered it yet.
Ms. McRookie, you're beating yourself up about this one time. We're having an unhelpful moment here. I want you to think about it differently. You didn't miss 1. You went from missing 7 to missing 1. Can you say that?
I went from missing 7 to missing 1.
Ready to hear my feedback?
I'm ready.
So, what were the strategies that you were going to use to address these side conversations?
You wanted me to give proactive reminders to silently listen to the speaker, and you wanted me to be scanning and circulating so I could be responding to off-task conversations.
Great. So, I observed 20 minutes of what I would call discussion time, and 4 different times where you gave those proactive reminders. Class, silently give Ross your attention. At 4 different times you noticed and responded really quickly to side conversations. And, there were also no repeat offenders. I'm giving you the full 40 out of 40 on your implementation score. It's great work.
Fine.
Right, really quick. I wanted to give you a shout out for the way you paused to celebrate Judy's little success. And it was halfway through class. You remember?
Yeah.
She didn't think she was going to get the right answer. And it was a great decision to stop and just show her some love.
I was so proud of her. I really hope she remembers it.
She will. Now, I want to switch gears here. So, what you did today really addressed time on task. Kids are getting a lot more out of the discussion time. More attention, more focused. But I want to move on to the next big takeaway, because there was a new issue this time. We're going to go to the student practice category. Remind me what we've talked about in a nutshell. What is our vision for student practice?
Well, it's that I'll maximize opportunities for students to be engaged and practicing rigorous thinking tasks as much of the time as possible. All students.
Great. That's what we're looking for. So, today I tallied up that students got, across the hour lesson, it was like 9 minutes of working independently, where they really had to bear down and get through some stuff and show what they know all on their own. During the group discussions, there were mostly just like 5 kids that were super engaged in answering all your questions. So, what are some problems with that?
Well, I guess you're probably right. I had all those group discussion moments and not a lot of independent work time. I guess I wasn't able to assess really where most of the students stood with the content. If I can't get around to assess that, I can't really give effective feedback to both individuals or the class as a whole. And I guess if that's the case, kids just really weren't having to work really hard. They could just sit and listen if they wanted to.
Yeah, you're nailing it. Independent practice is going to show you what they know. And if they struggle, that's okay. Struggle's an important part of learning. And you need to see their work to know what kind of feedback to give them. So, here's what I want. You're going to turn 3 of your discussion questions from discussion into stop and jots. So, here's what you did. You said, what's the first step to integrating polynomials? Show me hands. Ross raised his hand, got it right, you say, great. Then you say, what's the next one? Show me hands. Student gets it right, you say, nice. Then you say, so why do we always need to follow this procedure to integrate polynomials? Anthony? And then again, Anthony got it right, you say, good, you move on. So what was the most rigorous question there?
It was the why, the explanation question.
Yes, and here's how I want it to look instead. Those first questions, lower level, it's about process. I want you to cold call there. Why is cold call going to help us get more practice?
Well, if they know that I'm the kind of teacher who cold calls, they know they need their head in the game and that they need to pay attention.
Great. And that last question, the more rigorous one, we're turning that into a stop and jot. Those explanation questions, see, those are the ones that really let them work something out and really struggle with something. And it lets you see who is struggling, right? Okay, let's apply this. What are you teaching tomorrow?
We're keeping the same aim. Ticket to Leave scores weren't super great, so we're going to keep on integrating polynomials.
Okay, so take 5 minutes right now. Write out a question sequence from tomorrow's lesson that you think you can apply this structure to.
All right.
Okay, all right.
5 minutes.
Yep.
I got it. All right. Here's what I got.
Okay,
Johnny,
Wait.
what's...
make it authentic. Stand up. Ask me.
Johnny, what's the first step in solving this equation?
What effect does saying the name first have?
It's not really a cold call.
Great, try it again.
All right. What's the first step to solving this equation, Johnny? What's the second step, Judy? Great, everyone. Now I want you to think about...
Think about?
I want everyone to write down an explanation about why we need to do these 2 steps before we can work with integrating polynomials.
Write it where?
Oh,
No,
damn
do
it.
it again. You got this. You got this.
All right. What's the first step in solving this equation, Johnny? And after that, what do we do, Megan? Great. Now, pencils up. I want you to take 60 seconds to write in the box on the worksheet. You're going to explain why we need to complete these 2 steps before we can start working with integrating polynomials. Where are you writing, Malik? What are you explaining, Judy? Great. Ready? Begin.
Boom. That's the one. Cool. Hey, look, you got one of those moments down. I'm out of here. Yeah, that's time. So you're getting to work on scripting another one of those moments for your lesson plan. Remember that I'm back next Wednesday. I'm going to look for 2 of these question sequences then. But let's get practicing right away.
Great. I'll practice at home with my cat.
That'll work just fine. Okay. Ms. McRookie, this has been solved. You feeling good?
I'm feeling great. Thank you so much for all of your notes.
See you next week.
All right.
Boom.
Boom.
Hey, nice job, Mr. Effective Coach. There's no doubt that Miss McRookie learned a lot from you, and we think she's ready to make some meaningful changes in her practice. Now it's time for you to tell us why. Click on over to the assignment page where you're going to write up your notes explaining why this was an effective coaching session. Remember, this is also a peer-reviewed assignment, so after the assignment deadline, you'll be asked to review some of the work of your peers, and you'll be getting feedback as well. We think this is a great way to solidify what you've learned. Thanks so much. This has been a blast. We're out.